Alright, so I woke up to some pretty interesting news, and also I'm back on YouTube. I haven't been uploading for like probably almost 2 months now. I did say I was going to take a break from the game, and I did. It looks like we are so back. This is just a teaser for what they're announcing at Summer Games Fest. Sorry if I sounded like a little bit shit. I've got a nasty cold that I'm recovering from. The main thing that came from the patch notes today that's being incorporated tonight is shards, which every other MMO has. It is a layering system for servers, which means effectively two things: better performance and server stability. So you'll notice less desync in theory. Now, obviously, we don't know if this is going to be true, depending on, we know how New World works with these things. But if you look at the past server implementations and changes, such as Crossworld, Amazon has actually done a pretty good job of those. I'm surprised that there was next to no bugs, especially Crossworld Outpost Rush was pretty seamless. So I do have a lot of faith in the server team, and I do think this is, again, going to be game-changing. And obviously the main reason for this is for fresh starts and console release. Like, that is just kind of the whole reason for this to even happen. And they're only testing it in 2 zones, Monarchs and Windswood, which is the 2 starting zones, of course, which makes sense. It's going to prioritize certain players that makes sense, but there's also a PvP shard. The PvP shard, obviously, is going to be a PvP shard. You can only go to the PvP shard if you flag for PvP. You get the option to go to the PvP shard if you flag, and I believe that is where they're going to host the races, the town races. In theory, it should just mean better open world performance, especially in PvP, which is fantastic. You don't have to render PvEers. I wonder if they're going to have a shard in towns or not. So, anyways, again, bunch of other small changes, anti-cheat update, a bunch of combat changes that we were all unhappy with, especially me. Season 5 rolled out, and it basically completely butchered the experience, which was very annoying. Seems like they're finally on tune with that, and they're finally sort of patched everything up, which is really nice. And I've got to skip all the other weapons. I'm not really too worried about this stuff, or care about this stuff, more or less. But the Musket is getting some big changes, guys. And when I say Musket season is back, Musket season is fucking back. They fixed our dry shot issue, our buggy double shot, and then when it would actually sometimes also deal extra damage. Possibly the biggest fix here is they're getting rid of bloom. Now, this isn't getting rid of bloom entirely. I want to make sure you understand that this is only removing bloom when you're standing still and rotating the camera. You're still going to have bloom if you're strafing and moving, and that makes sense. It is now literally like Counter-Strike. If you're standing still, you will not have a bullet deviation. If you move, you will have deviation. This is a fantastic change, and will, again, without buffing the Musket too much, puts it in this nice sweet spot of being usable and actually being able to aim, right? So now when you're still and you're actually turning your crosshair or turning your mouse, you will actually be able to track properly without having to worry about shots going to fucking, I don't know, the tree to the left or right of the guy you're trying to hit, right? Well, unless you just actually miss. And then they changed the Deadeye Ultimate. This doesn't really matter, and we'll get onto that with point 2. This is what makes this Musket patch kind of OP in my eyes. In my opinion, Musket was always going to be better than Bow when they removed Bloom, but they decided to give us something extra. The right passive is now going to apply, the right ultimate passive is now going to apply to everything. What the right passive does is, I'll chuck a little infograph up on screen, plus 20% damage increase to debuffed enemies, right? Now keep in mind, there is only 3 or 4 abilities on the entire musketry that actually apply debuffs, right? So to get this extra 20%, the only ability on the left tree that actually will grant you this buff is Powder Burn with Backdraft. Backdraft gives you that extra damage on hit. What this means is Backdraft, which is a 13% damage increase on consecutive hits on that burning target, is you'll be able to get an extra 20% on top of that using the right ultimate, which gives you a 32 or 33% increased backdraft damage, which is fucking nuts, and I kind of think that's OP. We'll see how it plays out, but again, I think this buff is actually too much. I would have been more than happy with just the remove of Bloom, but they decided to give us something even extra. The only thing I can think of coming from this huge update regarding shards is their work that they actually may have been cooking, and we may actually see an announcement come that I wasn't expecting, or we won't expect at all. So I'm really looking to Summer Games Fest. I'm probably going to try and stream it for you guys, the reaction, but we'll see what happens, man. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to be playing New World again, maybe boot up the Twitch streams again, and see where we go from there. But I missed uploading for you guys, so we back. We are so back. Peace.